Welcome to part 4 in my video series on what this old Mercedes diesel is worth. You recall in part 1, I actually asked for advice on what I should offer the car. Believe it or not, the car was on the way to the crusher when the person getting rid of it decided to call my mechanic Jerson and ask him if we would be interested in the car. So literally it was 10 minutes away before being delivered to the crusher, before I got the chance to save it. And I had all kinds of comments. I got a kick out of what most people thought this car was worth, because I went around the body and showed the body condition, and I showed the interior condition. And now there were some people that said, hey, look, this would make a great beater, just, you know, get it mechanically sound and safe and drive it. Other people thought it'd make a good Mercedes rat rod. But most people told me to run away. A couple people told me to pay the seller to take it. Some people told me 1 peso, that's all it's worth. So in part 2, I got it running. Wow. And that started to change things, because this thing runs beautifully. You know, and I was actually hiding something from you during part 1 and 2, because I saw something that I think only 3 or 4 other people saw in those first 2 videos. And then finally, in part 3, started to explain what this was here. This wasn't just any normal engine. I'm sitting here looking at old tank. By the way, I've decided to call it tank. Number 1, it was originally a tank. By the way, they made 78,000 W126 300SDs. So I don't want anybody telling me this is a rare car, and since I can, I should save it. No, that's not the case. I want to take you right now and show you a couple other examples. The more I'm around this car, the more I realize that no way would I want to save this car. At the beginning of this video series, I cautioned against buying any Mercedes that's been obviously unloved. And someone replied, Kent, that just hasn't been unloved, that car has been abused. It's hard to believe that someone could let a car like this deteriorate so badly. It's about all the small things that I see, you know, things like this where this was never screwed on or attached properly. But look at the sheet metal screws in the door panel. That means the door panel was yanked off and all the tabs were broken. But there's something else that really caught my attention here. I think this is the first time I've seen this, a broken door lock knob repaired with some tape and some sort of filler. Now, that means that the previous owner did not even want to spend $2 or $3 on this car. So why? Tell me why all of a sudden he decided he wanted to restore this car, and he put a totally remanufactured engine and rebuilt transmission in it and then quit. So you can see that this car tank needs to be tanked, and that's what's going to happen as far as the body interior. Obviously there's a few good parts, but this has to be the worst I've ever seen and the least good parts on it in terms of body interior. But let's go back to this engine. We have a very special engine here. This is a Mercedes factory remanufactured engine. In part 3, I did ask for qualified comments from owners who had problems with their engines or chose to rebuild them or replace them or whatever, and I didn't get very many comments, but I got enough. And if you read those comments, you found out that these engines are very expensive to rebuild, very expensive. It's not like the normal Chevy 350 V8. And for those of you who have not seen part 3, then I want to emphasize again how you can tell this is a factory remanufactured engine. Is it has this ridge that shows up on the left side of the valve cover, and you won't see that on just the normal OM617 turbo diesel engine. We're talking about turbo diesel engines here, not non-turbo. There's a difference, and I'll explain that a little bit later. What we did learn from some of those comments was that you're going to end up paying between $10,000 and $15,000 to get a rebuilt engine. That's not factory remanufactured, that's just a rebuilt engine. And there are those engines that you could purchase for about $10,000 rebuilt, but they're putting used pistons in. And the reason for that is currently Mahle, this is genuine Mahle German pistons, are not available for the turbo engines. They are available for the non-turbo. There are some aftermarket pistons, but if you want to ask me honestly, I'd be a little leery. Is that gonna, is putting an aftermarket piston gonna give you 200 to 300,000 miles on your engine? Is putting in a used piston gonna give you 200 to 300,000 miles? I'll let you answer that question. So when you get a remanufactured engine, which of course is no longer available, you can't get these. I can't imagine. I think when these were last available, maybe they were $8,000 to $9,000, 15, 20 years ago. Can you imagine what a Mercedes remanufactured OM617 turbo diesel engine would cost today? And what you get with a remanufactured Mercedes engine, you get a lot of new parts inside the engine that you don't get in a normal rebuild. Things like new camshaft, all new sprockets, all new this, all new pump. I've rebuilt engines. Of course, the most important thing is replacing the pistons. Either you're going to bore the liners, you're going to replace the liners, you can use standard pistons. We're looking at an engine here to replace today with all the accessories, because at the time when you got a remanufactured Mercedes engine, you got a rebuilt injection pump, a rebuilt turbo, you got some other accessories. This has almost all. You can see the vacuum pump, the power steering pump, the turbo. All of those things were replaced when this engine was installed back in the 2000s. And the owner, who was a doctor, he decided, okay, I'm going to rebuild this car. I want to restore it. So he took it into the dealer and he paid $12,000 back then to have this engine installed in his car. At the same time, he had the transmission rebuilt for about $5,000. So today's costs to get this done are probably about the same, maybe a little higher, and that included labor, because when you get these engines for $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 rebuilt, that's no labor, and that's not a complete engine. That's a long block. It may have an injection pump and injectors in it, but it doesn't come with accessories. So now we're back to looking at this car in a total different light. The car's worth nothing, but what's the engine worth? So in conclusion, I believe this car is worth considerably more than most of you recommended I should pay for it. I did buy it. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it, but it was more than most recommendations. So what am I going to do with this car? And so this is a conclusion of this series on this old 300 SD. I hope you learned something. I'm standing out here by the car for a reason. One way or another, this engine is going to find a new home in a very nice either W126 or W123 diesel, whether it be by me or someone else. So there's a possibility I may come back. If I'm able to find the right car, I will do the engine transplant. If not, this will probably go somewhere else to someone else who needs a really good engine and transmission. And there's another lesson to be learned here. Besides, just don't go by other people's opinions on what something is worth. But if you look at this car, the camera's 20 feet away, it doesn't look too bad, does it? You say, man, I can drive that in. I know somebody said that. A couple people thought I should just drive it the way it is. And that would probably be true if it had 300,000 miles on the engine and, it ran good and I didn't want to do any work on just drive it. But with the value of that engine, it's not going to stay in this car. But the other lesson is, be real careful when you buy one of these cars that you don't just rely on pictures alone. Because pictures on eBay or pictures on Craigslist can fool you, particularly if they're from a long way away. So just a word to the wise, if you're going to go out and get one of these old diesels, it's best to view it firsthand before you buy it.